Hello friends, Patrick here, and I know this is a tech channel, but I have done some funky reviews in the past, and I did a vacuum cleaner review, I did a fan bladeless review. That's a very popular video, you should check that out. I didn't like it, but I did find something that I liked. It's actually a gift, and first of all, let me start with I absolutely love coffee. It gets me through the day, gets me through the evening, and well, you know what, doesn't keep me up at night too badly, so I get a pretty good sleep on coffee. In any case, I've always had to buy my coffee out, and I've never really had a machine at home or anything like that. For the first time, for Christmas, my folks got me this. This isn't a pretty inexpensive pod machine. And before this, there was a pod machine at my old work, and to be honest, the pods weren't that great, and they were hell more expensive than having your own grinder. But you know, now that I'm sort of working, I get my coffee at work. It's okay. I sometimes want to have some nice coffee on the weekend, and so this is it. This is the DeLonghi Eclipse. It is a coffee machine. It's a pod machine. Now, a couple of things I want to mention about this machine. It looks pretty darn cool. It's a pretty good example of intuitive design. Those little boxy ones with the little snouts at the front with the milk on the side and the milk gets all dirty and smelly, that I hate. Who has the time to clean out a coffee machine? And I'm going to point out why that kind of makes sense also. You should probably clean your coffee machine, but this is probably the easiest one I've seen. This is probably the best one I've used, and I've used two in the past, and they've all been random ones and probably cheap ones, and I really like the fact that milk was included in it. But in any case, this looks cool. This circular donutty shape, it's pretty darn fantastic. And as you can see, there's a little stand here for your cup, and it will all make sense once I press the on button, why and how that works. It's pretty cool. The machine itself, the pump is all encapsulated inside here, but the snout comes out here through where you put your pods in this little dongle right here. It's not a dongle, it's a slot, it's a shelf, shovel, shelf, shovel, shelf, shelf, shovel, shovel, shelf. It's a drawer. The pods themselves are particularly large. They're pretty sizable. They're not the little pods that you slip in, and they can't really be replicated. I know there's some machines that you can fill it on with your own coffee and put it on. This one in particular has a little needle that goes on the top, and it needs to be sealed pretty well. So unfortunately, I've tried, it just makes a huge mess. You don't want to do that. So that's one thing, you'll be buying these reusable plastics, and in Australia at the moment, there's a whole big war against plastic. So this is probably not the best environmentally friendly coffee use of it, but it's not particularly expensive. The actual machine is $99 or about $120 depending on what sale you get it on. We got it from the Good Guys, I believe. And these pods are $8 for 16, and you get all sorts of nice tastes and things like that. The one thing I particularly like about this coffee pods is that they're actually quite tasty. Now, there is ones with milk in it, so it actually has powdered milk that the water runs through, or even separate ones when you have a hot chocolate. So you have a pot of choc, and then you have a pot of powdered milk, and you could put it through. The powdered milk doesn't taste good, it's powdered milk, but I particularly like my coffee black, so I don't really care. The coffee out of these pods is pretty darn good, and I actually enjoy it on the weekend, and I do have it there. So obviously I don't go through a lot of pods, and for somebody who goes through coffees non-stop, this is not the most economical way. It is not even, like I said, environmentally friendly, but for a weekend use, it's pretty good. Also, if you've got guests coming around, it's also a good way to do it. The only thing is that the bucket in here that has the water only lasts about 2 to 3 coffees depending on their size. So if you want to have an Americano, which is just pretty much water, black tea, then it will go through 2.5 before you have to refill it. And this little intuitive area here can set the size, and every one of them has a little instruction of what you have on there that you need to set it to get the best looking milk or coffee or hot chocolate or mocha or anything else. These are all funky, strange tastes, and obviously the marketing department is pretty good at picking out nice colors to make it look really, really cool and inviting. But at the end of the day, the basic coffee tastes good, the actual unit looks pretty cool, and it's very, very easy to clean because the only stuff that gets dirty is here, this bit here, and that comes off very easily. And as you can see, I just cleaned this one, but I haven't cleaned the rest of the machine because I kind of wanted to show you what not cleaning it looks like, except the fact that it doesn't smell like raw and milk that has gone off because there's no milk involved. This is just splatter from water or from a bit of coffee here and there, and you can keep it like this for a long time. The water out here, because it is a short amount of water, you don't actually have water that stays in there very long, and therefore you're gonna always swap it out. So you're not gonna have dirty, stale, old water in there. Finally, it has a cold setting and a hot setting, so you could potentially just run the water through if you wanna clean it. Fine, great. And it has the hot, so you can run hot water through it. I wouldn't recommend it because I feel like there'll be a little bit of a coffee taste, and the water potentially might have a little bit of a coffee smell unless you clean it a few times. Don't use it for tea. So, is it actually any good? Well, I think it is for a weekend coffee drinker who doesn't drink much coffee. This is probably pretty nice, especially because most of the time it's gonna sit as a piece in the kitchen or maybe somewhere on a bench top away from the kitchen, and it's gonna be a little central piece, and it's gonna look much nicer, especially if you only use it very often. That makes this a designer piece, and it's not necessarily a coffee machine. So basically at the end of the day, what I don't like about this is the fact that the cable is red. Yes, my friends, they've made a nice black thing and the cable is red. It is also rather large on its base and takes up a lot of space in my kitchen, but somebody else might have a different idea. Obviously, for example, my folks' kitchen, it looks great. They have a nice island against the wall and they can put it against it. It looks really, really nice. That cable though could potentially not be red, or maybe black would suit it better. It just looks a little bit odd near a white wall. So finally, should you buy it? Yes, I think it's a pretty good buy. At about $100, you're gonna get a good looking coffee machine. The quality of the coffee is in the beans here, or rather in the powder, and I have found it to be quite nice. I've actually had a lot of people mention that the coffee was actually particularly nice, especially when you go to somebody else's house for a party and they have nothing but this, and then you say, oh, I'm surprised, you were expecting to have the bar set really low, and you kind of impress them, so that's always good. But as an impressive centerpiece, again, it's just a coffee machine, and it's not gonna get you that barista quality, but it's gonna get you something nice on the weekend that's particularly cheap at $8 for 16 pods. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been a little bit helpful. Maybe a product you haven't seen in a while. I particularly like it, and as a gift, it's really nice. It's just a look. It is just a look. It is just a design. So I highly, highly recommend checking it out at the store for yourself. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, let me know what you think about coffee machines. Should I do more appliance stuff? Little kitchen appliances. I have a lot of it. A lot of appliances that could get a review. Guys, I'll catch you later.